Hello, today for review I've got really famous in-ear monitors. It's Sony WF-1000XM3, so it's flagship true wireless model offered by Sony. When I've got them, I planned to make a comprehensive review comparing them with AirPods Pro, probably with Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 2s and some other in-ear monitors from famous brands. But unfortunately, quarantine changed my plans. I didn't get any model yet. Maybe in some foreseeable future I will get them. Maybe, but of course not this month, definitely, as I'm still running out of samples and even post is working really slow. But today I will show these in-ear monitors to you and I will describe it. So there are a lot of reviews all over the internet. Of course, when some big brand release something worth attention, there are a lot of reviewers from professional channels. So definitely, this won't be the best shot review with, like professionals do, with a lot of photos, with a lot of video footage. So it will be just your favorite talking hands with Ukrainian accent. So price of this true wireless model is about $250 if I remember right, and that's probably all. Let's have a closer look. So they were wrapped in plastic, and fun thing is that sticker about the active noise cancelling was on this plastic, so it was removed. There is another mention of noise cancelling, but it's in call noise cancelling. As you can see, there is a sticker mentioning Google Assistant and Alexa, and it's common in modern models because often many manufacturers add some features via software updates, and in order not to redesign or reprint the boxes, they just adding stickers. Same was with Sennheiser Momentum Wireless 3 that I reviewed, so it's pretty common to see. It's official imported to Ukraine version, so there is even an additional sticker with information in Ukrainian. More interesting for us is back side, so as you can see how they look like in ear, and mentioned that here is used special Sony designed processor for noise cancelling and stable wireless connection and all other stuff. I will cover it a bit later, but actually it's all true, Sony is a company with good programmers, and good programmers means good software features. Hands-free calling with HD voice, I will do a microphone test, 10-minute charge for about 90 minutes of playback, and that's actually true. Maybe not 90, but about 75 to 80. Music playback time with noise cancelling 6 hours, but usually you will have about 4.5 to 5 hours, and 24 hours with charging case, and up to 8 hours, but actually closer to 7 hours, but still pretty good figures. So with 32 hours with case and USB-C for charging, so basically good specs. So short instruction about the pairing. Earpieces were here, but of course now they live in the box, actually in the case. Underneath you will have manual, USB-C charging cable, and set of tips. Actually it's Sony tips of two types, pretty good tips, especially these ones. I like that Sony tips since the time I've tested Z5, if I remember right. So here are earpieces themselves. As you can see, case is bigger than usual. It has soft touch plastic, so it gathers a bit fingerprints and gathering a bit of dirt, but still it's pretty reliable, looks really okay. Bigger than AirPods Pro, but probably they fit a bigger battery here and the quick charge. Of course, lid opens with magnets, so you remove earpieces out and that's it. So you can imagine which part here occupied by battery. here are earpieces themselves. They have a bit unusual shape. Let's remove the tip. So they are a bit bigger than traditional true wireless in-ear monitors. But still they are pretty compact, staying in ears pretty flush. They have a nice, well-extended spout, so they will fit pretty deep inside your ears, and they will give you pretty decent passive noise isolation, but of course with active noise isolation it will be even better. Build quality is nice, everything is finished nicely. Of course it's just plastic, but anyway I think it's pretty okay. So here is LED indicator blinking from time to time. It's not really bright, but still noticeable. This is probably microphone, and this part is sensors. It has touch controls, and you can change what they will do with touch. Of course they have control applications that I will show a bit later. So speaking about connectivity, they're really good in holding connection up to 10 meters without any issues. And what is surprising here, actually Sony didn't add any codecs besides sub-band codec, but actually they still managed to achieve the pretty good sound, so no aptX, just sub-band, and if I remember right, AAC for the iOS devices. Here is actually sensor that check if they are inserted into ears or not. So when you remove earpiece, they can pause the playback. It's traditional, and also there is a grill protecting the spout and the lip for holding the tip. So I'm paying usually close attention here. So connection quality is nice, almost no issues. Maybe when you enter some area with a lot of electromagnetic interference outside there could be some problems, but not too much, so I didn't have big problems with them. What else I need to mention? So active noise cancelling is pretty good, so probably it's the best actually active noise cancelling in the true wireless format. Of course it's not as good as with full-size headphones, but still they managed to lower the outside noise in a pretty noticeable way, and thanks to the ambient sound feature you can actually hear what's going on outside if you need to be aware. So traditional typical feature set for modern true wireless models. Zero background noise, common for some true wireless models. So as you can see, they support all the necessary features and offers more above that. Here is a companion application for these in-ear monitors. Sony named it simply headphones. Actually, is it the maximum brightness? So let's have maximum brightness. So you can see the basic information: model name, codec used, and charge level of both earpieces and case. Here you can change the ambient sound and noise cancelling if you need. So ambient sound and noise cancelling. If necessary, you can activate focus on voice feature. So as you can see, you can pretty noticeably change these settings. Equalizer with a lot of presets. Pretty traditional equalizer, so if you need to change something you can go to additional settings. And probably the feature that will bring a lot of fans to this model, it's clear bass. It's probably the best bass boost implementation that exists on the market. Sony really managed to boost the bass in a, well, maybe not natural way, but closer to natural, or how to name it, because boosted bass is not natural at all, but they doing it in the less artificial way, let's say. So here this application shows the currently playing track, and you can navigate it here. Actually, I don't know why they added, but fun that it works even with Fio Music, so they detect now playing track. Should the headphones pause when you take them out? Here you can change the priority on sound quality or on the stable connection. So with priority on sound quality, it stays pretty okay. So DSEEHX, it's sound enhancer, but actually I keep it off almost every time. Actually, when it's turned on, it's making stage a bit more spacious and sound more engaging, but it's sounding, a bit artificial. But with many tracks, it can be a viable option. But I still prefer to keep it turned off. And the feature that I really feel a bit limited here, actually limitation isn't because of this software implementation, so it's changed the sensor function. So you press this cogwheel icon, and for left earpiece you can select one of features, so ambient sound control, playback control, volume control, Google Assistant, Alexa, or nothing. And of course it's the necessary feature number one, it's ambient sound control. So short tap is just cycling noise cancelling, ambient sound, and off. And keep in mind that with ambient sound you will get even a bit amplified sound of what's going on around you, but at the same time it gives a bit of background hum when it's activated. And long press, just they name it quick attention, so you just press it and you can hear what's going on. It's really useful when someone is talking to you. And also music became quieter when you press it. It's a pretty good feature. And on the right earpiece I selected volume control with short tap rising volume and continuous pressing lower the volume. But it's hard to choose, do you need playback control or volume control, because playback control is also necessary, so that's the limitation. Unfortunately, I got only two earpieces, and I'm liking a bit of that functionality. So it decided to reconnect due to some reason. Maybe they just went to sleep. So I'd like to have both volume control and playback control simultaneously. So it's better to... Okay, it's worked without it. Usually you have to put them to ears to wake them up. Automatic power off, so off when headphones are taken off, or don't turn it off. Do you need voice guide and notification, and you can change language. A lot of languages are supported here, and automatically download software. So firmware update is one of the most necessary features of this application. And as usual, tutorial information about version, music center if you need it, registration, and so on. So all the basic stuff and all controls in a pretty convenient application, but of course, as usual, you need to tweak it just once and then use that settings. Equalizer is a really nice feature because you can change it and then information will be stored right in the earpieces, so no need to use application after that. And the traditional microphone test of these earbuds. So I insert them into my ears and I'm recording this part of the video using the microphones. As usual, I won't apply any corrections or equalization to this piece. Of course, YouTube will a bit change the sound due to lossy compression, but anyway, I think this part can give you an idea of how their built-in microphone sound. And of course about the sound, I will use M11 Pro as a source this time, not if it make any difference. Of course, this earpiece is more created to use with a smartphone, but I got M11, so it will be our transport today. And of course I turned off equalization, I turned off DSEEHX, so it basically, you know, like basic sound of these earpieces. Actually, small correction, I said that they have no background noise. Actually, there is a slight background noise, barely audible, but it's still present, and with ambient sound on it's a bit more noticeable, but it's just the nature of this ambient sound, so background noise is audible. I just used a track with recorded silence. They did that trick that many manufacturers do, so when there is no music playing, they just turn off the audio part and you got no noise. But with the track with silence, you can check the noise and it's present, but it's, for me, it's really subtle and really barely audible, but still I need to mention that. In terms of sound, they're not trying to be natural, they're not trying to be resolving, they're trying to be maximum fun. You know, here I used some DSP, of course, and this DSP is tuned for the mass market to give the listener maximum wow effect. So, you know, this time I probably won't try to analyze them from audiophile perspective, you know, when we are expecting maximum natural sound, maximum resolution and all other stuff. Of course, they are pretty natural, they have normal resolution, but they're not trying to highlight these accents, they're trying to overwhelm you with how good they sound. Sometimes it's sounding artificial, but you know, it's that case that applies to some Sony players, to some Coven dubs. Actually, it's, you know, earphones for those who like such representation, and it's really fun sounding. So bass is not accented. Of course, you can accent bass using this true bass, or how that setting, how that slider was called. So you can add bass in terms of quantity, but actually bass here is accented in terms of impact. So they highlighting attacks and decays. I don't know how they actually managed to do that. It's not some tricks with frequency response, it's something more complicated. So they highlighting drum kicks, they highlighting acoustic bass strings, you know, they're just making these things more forward, more palpable, probably more audible, and more like straight to your face. It's sounding really engaging in many cases. Of course, if you used to some natural and resolving resolution, it won't be the model for you, but for vast majority of audience it will be a great choice, and it will give you great results with the vast majority of electronic music, with pop music, and actually with a lot of other genres. Resolution and control, of course, is good, really good impact, nice texturing, but because of that highlighting real acoustic instruments sounding bigger than they are. But I think that it's not something that target audience will be complaining about. And as an example, I've selected go back a bit, well, maybe not something super unusual, but actually not something traditional. Of course, more logical would be choose something from the Ansur. I don't know, like what else, John Rector. So basic glitch mob. So basically my electronic music test tracks, or something like Daft Punk, sounding really superb with them, like they were created for such music. But I've selected Wardruna, Ansur, not sure about the accent. So if you haven't heard Wardruna, I really recommend it to you. Nice mix of everything, a bit of ambient music, a bit of more than a bit, but nice amount of Scandinavian folk. Sometimes they have something like in rock style, but of course not 100% rock. So basically it's Scandinavian folk with mixes of different genres, really engaging music. I really like to listen it as a background when I need to focus on something, but actually when you listen it attentively, you will find a lot of details, and it's definitely not a traditional classical background music that is easy to stop hearing it at all. So Ansur, as well as many other tracks, have big drums, and it's typical for such music, and it's sounding really palpable and really natural with these in-ear monitors. You can add even a bit of additional bass, but actually even in zero settings, this drum sounding really efficient and really engaging. Mids are done in the same style. They highlighting emotions, not too much, but definitely in a noticeable way. So they will highlight any transients, will highlight emotions, make everything like, more fancy, more joyful, and so on. They won't extract the smallest and tiniest nuances from your music, but it's common for true wireless earbuds, but at least they will try to hide bad mastering, lossy compression, lossy Bluetooth codecs, and all other stuff. They're sounding pretty natural. Of course, don't expect performance of some wired model, but for the true wireless, normal level of naturalness. And imaginary stage is a bit above average in width and in depth with HSEE, or what was that sound enhancer that I showed to you. It became even more spacious, but with that enhancer actually distance between instruments increase, but in general staging starting sounding a bit loose, so it's a bit instruments becoming a bit too far. So basically I prefer to keep this option off, and it gives normal stage, not the most spacious and biggest, but pretty acceptable. And as an example, I already show it to you, but yet another track that I really like and I can definitely recommend it to you. It's the Alan Parsons project, album name is Gaudi, and you can easily guess why it's named this way. And if you didn't have it, so they have this intro track, La Sagrada Familia, and even narrator starts the whole album with explanation, what are you hearing right now. I like this approach, so it's the music that educates you even if you don't want that. And I really like this track. It starts with narration, some three-dimensional effects like some horseman riding besides you, and with these earpieces it's sounding really engaging and natural. Then narrator, then really nice vocal, and then random sudden, not random, sudden actually how to say it, sudden transition to the fast part with a bit distorted guitars, and actually it's really fun and engaging. And as you can easily guess, such music with lot of transitions, with lot of instruments really suiting these earpieces. They highlighting it and accenting all that nuances and make them super engaging. Of course, you will lose a bit of natural details because it's Alan Parsons at the end, and of course record quality is superb, but I think it's the price that can be paid. But of course it's a matter of taste. And treble here is really, how to say, they are sculpted in a really accurate way. Extension is average because of Bluetooth compression, first of all, so don't expect some rich treble layering, don't expect overtone saturation, but they are pretty good in terms of quantity balance, not too much, not too few, so they didn't decide to make them treble light. And that's really good, because Sony sometimes in less expensive models like to shadow the treble to make a more comfortable sound, to make model more basic. No, treble here is present and it has normal resolution, of course, for the true wireless model, and it's pretty normal. So no richer tone saturation or other stuff that wired models can give to you, but this still pretty normal for the basic tones. And as an example, yet another not widely known but really great album. So it's a band named The Gentle Storm. It's actually a side project of Arian Lucassen from the Arion group, and I like this album because it recorded in two versions, Gentle and Storm version, to correspond to the name of the project. So Gentle version, it's more like acoustic folk, and Storm version is closer to the metal, not the hard one, but still good. So Gentle version, nice example of folk and the greatest love. It has violins, acoustic guitars, great female vocals, so all that stuff that requires nice treble, and this earpiece is sounding pretty okay with this part. Not superb once again, but still normal. So, to summarize about the sound once again, engaging with accented emotions, with highlighted bass impact, with highlighted transients, and with good accurately sculpted treble. So, you know, it's artificial sound, but it's done in a nice way. So it's like a plastic surgery when it's done nice. You notice it if you will look attentively, but without looking attentively you will enjoy the result. Unfortunately, I can't do comparisons right now because I said at the beginning I wanted to compare with at least AirPods Pro, but I don't have them, maybe in some future closer to the summer. So, and compare them with other models, there is not much sense. Of course, MIFO 07 and Noble Audio Falcon are sounding more resolving and more natural, and more focused on the natural sound, and cheaper models from the China still, of course, not even close come to that. But so no comparisons, sorry, just some basic stuff. But if you're looking for some really good true wireless model, if you listen mainly some streaming service, if you don't want some super audiophilic result, if you want engaging sound, and of course if you need working active noise cancelling, and if you need additional features, good microphone quality, and so on and so forth, Sony really did a great job, and it's of course a good in-ear monitors for the mass market. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.